Okay, guys, so we have my new MT-07. This is a 22 model, 23, 22? Yeah, 22, so it's the old dash. So far, I have a Puig windscreen, bar end mirrors from Woodcraft, and I have the Yoshimura full exhaust. I have a HORDPOWER intake. I have sent the ECU off to get flashed. I have not got it back yet. I have a new handlebar, and I also have some bar end mirrors that are going on. Oh, also have the R6 OEM throttle tube as well. So anyways, going ahead and work on this for the next couple of days. My kitty cat here is going to help me out here, and her little baby's over there. Anyway, we are going to today take these plastics off to get ready to put the intake in. It is bad weather here. It is about to rain. You hear that thunder probably. So we are going to go ahead and work at a snail's pace here, not in any sort of hurry. It is a Saturday. Supposed to have my ECU back like Tuesday or Wednesday, one or the other. So hoping to have this swapped out and done before then. But the factory intake on this thing is apparently a real pain in the ass to take out. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start working on that today. Okay, so far you're going to pop the rear seat, take out 2 bolts to remove the front seat. There are going to be 4 bolts here, and then once you have these 2 right here done, you pull this little plastic piece down and take that off. 2 more bolts here, 2 bolts up here, a bolt on each side here to pull this panel off, and then there are like little Phillips head like well nut screws right there. I know you take those out. That's as far as I have gotten at this particular point in time. Also, good tip to remember is seat and fairing, etc., label these bolts. Disregard the shotgun hanging up here. Had a crazy ass person follow my wife home earlier and then try to like get out in my yard. So yeah, anyway, also changed the oil in the 86 today, as well as looked at my miserably rotting IS300. More on that later. Okay, so bolt here, bolt on the side, these front bolts, plastics come off. So now it looks like I'm gonna have to take the tank up. This is the intake right here. I've never actually seriously looked at it like this. Anyway, this is the intake. We're gonna have to pick the tank up a little bit, and I'm gonna have to remove the air box with the snorkel right there, and then take this out, I guess, from the side here. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway. Yeah, this is the progress we got so far. Bike's looking like a skeleton. So, all right, so now we are on day 2. I have the motorcycle stripped apart. I have all the plastics off, the seat gone, etc., etc. So on this, you're going to remove both of these. I believe they're 4mm Allen wrench bolts. There's one on each side, or 2 sets on each side. And then what you're going to do, you're going to come around over here to the left side. This bolt right here, you're going to not take it out, but loosen it. If you have both sets of these removed and then that loosened, you should be able to hinge the gas tank up. So we're gonna have to do that to remove the air box. So that's gonna be step 1. Okay, so you undo those bolts and then you loosen that front one. Best I can tell is you lift this up, which I have an impact gun holding it up. I suggest you use like a block or something. And then top of the airbox, there are 4 Phillips head screws we're gonna have to open. That's all I can really tell so far. But anyways, we're gonna start there. Okay, so with the intake snorkel off, now the next part is to remove the bolts behind this piece right here. You can see it right there. It's a 10mm. You're gonna pull that out right there. There's one on both sides. Okay, so now at this point, you are to remove, you can see right, let me see if I can't figure this out, right there, that clamp. There is a clamp on each of the 2 intake runners. You're going to remove that. It is a 4mm Allen key. At that point, once you have that done and you have these 2 bolts back here removed, the intake is now free to come off of this thing, plus with this hose here at the top that you got to unclamp. Now, this is the part that I have not quite figured out yet, is how to remove this thing, because it doesn't look like it is going to come out quite easily. So, updates whenever I have one on how I got this thing out. I know some people cut this thing out. There's actually a YouTube video where a guy is taking a Sawzall and cuts it in half. Okay, so, let's talk about it for a second. We have the intake out. From what I can gather is the engine is put in as one complete unit around the frame, or the frame is attached to the engine, one or the other. Either way, the intake doesn't just come out. So there's 2 schools of thought, I guess, with this, and that's either drop the entire engine assembly or use the Sawzall. And I'm gonna let you guys guess which school of thought I subscribe to. But anyways, intake is now out, so I guess now we put on the HORDPOWER intake. Okay, so at this particular point, you just put the intake on, hook up the hose to the breather, and then put these factory clamps back on, or you can just use like a worm clamp or something like that. And then you'll attach the bracket to one of the gas tank bolts. And then you'll just do the reverse order of what we did, where you'll tighten these and then tighten the front bolt. And there you go. That's your HORDPOWER intake install. Now, I'm going to put this thing back together another day, because I got a couple other things I'm going to do. But I think that is probably going to be it for this video. I'm going to have a video up sometime next week with some GoPro footage on a helmet POV of my first drive with this thing. I am 100% going to record my first ride with the ECU flash. So again, I was riding this bike completely stock except with a Yoshi pipe, but I didn't have it tuned. So tune with the pipe, full system, and HORDPOWER intake on my MT-07 that also has an OEM R6 throttle tube, so throttle's gonna be a little bit snappier as well. Man, I'm pumped. I'm excited to ride this thing. I heard it's gonna be a completely different animal. Now also I have some bar end mirrors that I'm gonna put on, and also gonna clean all this thing just completely up before I put it all back together. But I think that is probably gonna do it for this video, because I gotta dispose of some stuff. But anyway, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be making more motorcycle videos, as well as getting to work on this Lexus soon when the weather cools down. I know I've been saying that for literally like ever. 2JZ GTE swapped, single turbo IS 300, needs an ECU. Going to be doing all that this fall. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. And check into the channel for more. Peace.